One of the most common questions in exercise and nutrition is, should you be doing a bulk or a cut? Bulking is the process of putting on weight by using a calorie surplus. Cutting is the opposite. It's consuming less calories than you would burn usually during the day. Bulking helps when you're putting on size and trying to get stronger in the gym, where it can be beneficial to be in a slight surplus. When you're trying to cut down, when you're trying to lose body fat, that's when you want to be in a deficit. In the first year of training, you'll get your noob gains, where you'll get a bigger progression than at any other point in your training journey. To fuel this, you want as much protein as possible, and you want to be in a slight surplus so you continue to gain weight and build on muscle. Because you're new to lifting, your body will adapt and it will use the extra calories to help you put on muscle mass. It's pointless trying to cut at this point because there's nothing to cut into. You don't have the muscle developed underneath, so you want to build that out before you enter your first cutting stage. But how long do you need to bulk for? Well, it depends, but usually until you stop gaining strength week on week. At the start, you'll see your lift progressing, perhaps 5 pounds, 10 pounds week on week, but then slowly but surely that will start to fade and you'll start to plateau. Once you get to this point, you can either change up your training style so you're giving the muscles a new stimulus, or you can begin the cut. Now, I'd recommend starting your cut when you're getting to a high body fat percentage for your healthy weight. Let's say a healthy body fat percentage for you is 12 to 13. Once your strength gains start slowing down and you're hitting 20% body fat, that's when you'll want to start the cut. Another sign is if you're feeling bloated or sluggish, this is a sign you might be eating too much and it's becoming counterproductive to your training. When you're a more experienced lifter, you want to do cuts and bulks of around 2 to 3 months or 8 to 12 weeks. Since eventually you'll have to cut, it makes sense to be smart with the bulk, so I recommend not having a daily surplus of more than 500. Over a week, this amounts to 3,500 calories, which will equal 1 pound of body weight. This means that if your maintenance calories are 2,300, each day you should be eating no more than 2,800 calories. If you're training right and eating healthy, then the amount of muscle to fat gain should be equal. So if you're gaining a pound of weight, half of that should be muscle and half of it will be fat. When it comes to your diet, getting the right amount of protein will be the most important thing for building muscle, and you want to aim for half a gram for every pound of body weight minimum, and up to a gram. So say you weigh 160 pounds, you want to eat a minimum of 80 grams of protein in a day, but ideally you want to be aiming for that number of 160 grams of protein per day. There's two main ways where you can find your maintenance calories, which is the amount of calories you burn throughout the day. You can use an online calculator where you put in your activity levels, your age, your weight, and you'll get a rough estimate of your maintenance calories. Or you can be more specific and you can track the things you eat throughout the week. You can check the labels and see the amount of calories you're consuming in the food you're eating, or to make it easier, you can use an app like MyFitnessPal, which will count up the calories for you. If you found that you've stayed the same body weight, then total up the amount of calories that you've eaten in a week, divide it by 7, and that will be your maintenance daily calories. For every pound of body weight that you've gained, you want to subtract 3,500 from the total amount of calories you've eaten during the week. Then divide that number by 7, and that will be your daily maintenance calories. If you want to be less scientific with the bulk, I have a few extra tips. When you're eating each meal, you want to get to a point where it's hard to eat anymore, so you're really filling yourself up. Now, you shouldn't be overfeeding yourself and you shouldn't make yourself feel sick. However, you should be eating the amount which your body can actually handle. Another tip is to eat throughout the day. If you space out the meals, it's a lot easier. If you had to eat all your calories in one meal, it would be hard to eat 2,000 calories in one sitting. But spreading that across 5 different meals, 400 calories each, is a lot easier. To maximize this, you should eat first thing in the morning. You should also have snacks throughout the day, and complete meals, I suggest at least 4. You want to minimize the amount of fat you're gaining during this bulk and maximize the muscle mass. So try and keep the foods healthy, stick to whole foods. These are things like rice, pasta, meat, vegetables, and fruit. Compare this to something like a ready meal, which has a bunch of ingredients, a long list where you might not even know what some of it is. If you think about a potato, there's no ingredients list, there's one ingredient, a potato. So a lot of people that are newer to the gym will need a bulk, but what if you need a cut? The only beginners that should be cutting are people that are already in unhealthy weight. I'd say for men, this is above 25% body fat, and for women, above 35% body fat. If you're severely overweight and it's affecting your everyday life, then you'll need to cut for the first few months until you get down to a healthy body weight. The other time where you may need a cut is if you've been on a bulk period for a long time, perhaps 2 or 3 months, and your strength gains are starting to slow down. Now, during the bulk phase, it's likely you've acquired a certain amount of fat. Therefore, we want to keep the muscle that we gain during this bulk, but try and shred as much of the fat as possible. The easiest way to keep the muscle that we built is eat a lot of protein. You want to eat even more protein on a cut than you would on a bulk. This is because you have to eat less, but you still have to maintain that muscle mass. So protein is going to be essential for repairing the muscle that you're still using during the gym. Just like with a bulk where you wouldn't want to really overeat, with a cut you really don't want to undereat. If you undereat, then your body will start to break down muscle and you'll lose the gains which you've been working on in the previous phase. The magic number is again 500. So if your maintenance calories are 2300, you don't want to be consuming less than 1800 calories per day. Therefore, if you're losing more than a pound each week, it's likely you're cutting too much and that could hurt your progress. A cut can be anywhere from 8 to 16 weeks or 2 to 4 months, and you want to make it gradual so you maintain the muscle mass. I think the ideal calorie deficit is 250 per day. But how long should you be in the cutting phase? If you've reached a number near 10 to 13% body fat, it's likely the cut has gone well and you've achieved your goals. Again, similar with bulking, if you start to feel fatigued or like you don't have energy for your workouts, this is a sign you've been under eating for too long and that you need to increase your calories. Knowing when to cut and bulk is an essential piece of information if you want to see results. Hopefully this video has cleared up whether you need to cut or to bulk. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and I'll catch you in the next one.